What is up, everybody? Sorry, I had trouble getting in the StreamYard on my laptop here. That is the first time I ever had to do that. Normally, I get into StreamYard and I'm automatically logged in and away I go, but it wasn't showing that I had a live setup for today. So I apologize for being a couple minutes late, but I'm sure everybody's probably been all over YouTube today. All kind of happenings going on court-wise, of course. I was on a show this morning. We were on Frank Meister's show, myself, Ruckus, and Kristen behind the crime door. Frank and Rescue All the Dogs were in court. They made the journey, and Frank will be live tonight at 8. He'll be, recapping everything he saw. Although after watching the hearing after we did the live, I couldn't watch it live. Watching it after, watching a couple people, talk about it, and there's been no surprises on reaction. I'm not going to hit you with legalese because I don't know legalese that much, but based on the things that I think that was being poked and prodded, and some of the questions back from the justices were interesting questions that kind of led me to what they were thinking. So we'll talk about that here for a little bit today, and anything else any of you have on any of the proceedings. You can go back and watch it. There's a few different channels that actually aired it live, which I didn't think they were allowed to do, but we'll see if they were or not. Those channels are still up and running. They're not taken down or anything, but I was, very afraid. And I know Frank and Ruckus and Kristen, we were all concerned about having it live based on what we read. So without further procrastination here on my part, we were on for about 2.5 hours. You get a chance to go back and watch it. We just did some general talking. We were getting some updates. But what came out of today, I don't think so far is like this huge mind-blowing thing. I think it's what we expected. I think they made the arguments that they already made. And after I say hi to everybody here, I'm going to tell you how I think that everybody's reacting to it. And it's not a surprise. I don't think anybody's really surprised, but this account is here. What's up? Just Deb. The new docs. Deb, how new? If they were in the last 1 or 2 hours, then no. I saw that Westermen is going to trial. I believe a jury trial, which is strange to me. And I know before I get to saying hi to everybody, I'll explain that. So if Mitch Westermen, in my opinion, would have taken a plea and said, yes, I did wrong, he would be protecting his buddy Baldwin, right? Maybe he's just, I'm going to do the right thing. Now he's going to trial. I can't imagine that Attorney Baldwin wants Westermen to go to trial. We know that discovery is now sealed in that case too. So again, is there a link? What's happening here? What exactly is happening? Why was Westermen's hearing or pretrial conference scheduled today, the same day as the Supreme Court thing? Several hour drive from what I understand apart from one another. I don't know. It just seems like something's going on there more than we would think. I expected him to stand up and say, Baldwin's my guy. He had no idea, blah, 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 blah. And we haven't heard him do that. So is he going to try to get off this charge in the world of legalese, so to speak, from the legal experts? This is not a huge charge. I think it was a $250 bail that he had a post or something like that. So this is not, a RICO charge or anything like that. This is just a basic conversion, I think they called it, which is kind of an odd way to put it. But so why is he going to jury trial? What do you guys think? You think anything about that? You think this is linked to this somehow? Do you think that he has turned on Baldwin and he's going to come out and say Baldwin did this, this, and that? I don't know. It's interesting. It's not what I expected. Jinx, what's up, Honeybee? Kells, what's up? How are you? Yeah, a lot going on today, a lot going on tonight. Check out your favorite YouTube Delphi show or Internet Sleuth or whatever you want to say. Check them out tonight because everybody seems to be going live or some point today. New charges for Richard Allen. Oh. See, this goes to show you. See, they knew I was going live at 3. And I think that the Indiana court system said, We're going to shoot this out to Coach Kev so he looks like a fool. When everyone's like, have you seen this? And I say no. Thank you to Jinx. State's motion to leave or charge. You know what? I am going to, if you give me a second and maybe some luck, I'll show these all to you. I'll send these to my, give me 1 second and we could read these. This is interesting. So this is kind of breaking news. I've never had to deal with breaking news before. Well, not on my channel. At work. At work, I participate in quite a bit of breaking news. Actually, almost anything we do at work's breaking news. You know, not that we're special. It's just the nature of the beast. Let me send these to myself. Bing. And let's read these, huh? Let me see if I could get us to these, all right? Let me finish saying hi. I don't want to forget to say hi to everyone because that's so important. The interaction is what it's all about. Melissa, what's up? Jill Moser. Ruckus is here. Ruckus didn't behave himself. Frank asked him to behave himself, and Ruckus obliged. He does what he wants, though. Ruckus did a good job this morning explaining the gag order and how the gag order, it doesn't matter where you are as a person. If you violate that gag order by talking publicly about that case, you are now you might have to go back into that state or that county for someone to arrest you. I don't know if they're going to extradite you if you get pulled over in Pennsylvania for violating a gag order. Maybe they will or not. But it's not a state thing. It's a case thing. You can't talk about the case. There's Rescue All Dogs. I don't think that was the longest journey for either of them. Deb, Honeybee. Jessica Robin Riley, hello. So let me try to do this, and let me try to show these to you. Share screen. Hold on 1 second, folks. 1 second. I believe that I know how to do this. So give me a second, okay? La, 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 la. I'm assuming that you're seeing me type right now, and you're not seeing what I have on my screen. But if you are, that's okay. Let me see here. Which one is this? Let's try to get him in some kind of order. That is not what we want. Don't switch. Okay, I'm getting there. Inbox. Here we are. I had to refresh my inbox. Okay, I'm going to get these in order. I'm going to show these to you guys. Thank you, Jinx, for sending to me. Thank you, Deb, for mentioning this to me. Your browser has blocked your screen. Click on the icon. Okay, let me try this now. I had to open it up in my other thingy thing. Let's share this. And allow me to go into my phone, because I'm so technologically advanced, to make sure we are seeing the right things here. Okay, it looks like we are. Let me make this a little bigger. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'll read these to you and I'll scroll through and I'll do my best not to kick myself off of the camera. Okay, 35-42-1-1 point, I don't know, I guess nothing. A person who knowingly intentionally kills another human being while committing or attempting to commit. These are the, what do you call them, extenuating circumstances. Might be using the wrong thing. List those things out. Kills another human being while committing or attempting to commit. Dealing, manufacturing cocaine or narcotic drug. I know a couple people that are going to run wild with that. I know a few other people that are going to run even wilder with B, dealing in methamphetamine. Manufacturing methamphetamine, dealing in Schedule 1, 2, or 3 controlled substance, dealing in a schedule. Okay. Bear with me. Yes, I didn't get kicked off the page. It's progress, folks. So, wow. Wow. Don't take your legal advice from me, but are they implicating some kind of Okay, these looks like they're just listed here in all these other things, kills another human being while committing or attempting to commit. So this is a list of things. So this isn't necessarily a narcotics thing or whatever. That's my 2 cents on this. I could be wrong. Let's go to the next one. If you will, in the words of Dusty Rhodes. And let me make sure we have this on the correct thing. Looks like we do. Anybody with any legal expertise or want to comment on what I'm reading here, if you know more than me, there's a good chance that you do. But anyways, comes out of the state of Indiana, prosecuting Nick McClellan, hereby respectfully ask the court to leave to amend charging information filed in this case. And it's the date that they filed it. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. See? Okay. Oh, look, you can move the whole thing. Okay. I'm learning something new every day. The defendant was arrested. The probable cause affidavit. We've all read that, right? Hasn't everyone read that? Does this go up anymore, or is this the only page? That's the only page of that. So let's go back and let's read the third screenshot sent to us by Miss Jinx. And let's make this a little bigger and let's read what we have. Kidnapping for both victim 1 and 2. Did I miss something? Did I leave something out, or did I go out of order here or something? I apologize if I did. That was not my intention, but it's technology, and when in technology and Coach Kev meet, Coach Kev looks like Barney Rubble. The state is asking for the court to leave to file these amended charges because charges are more accurately aligning the charging information with the case's discovery and probable cause affidavit. See Indiana code, we talked about that. That's the code that I read to you before. Because the clarity of the discovery and probable cause affidavit, the defendant has been, on notice since the beginning of this case. This amendment does not prejudice the defendant's substantial rights. That the trial for this matter is 9 months away, giving the defense adequate time to prepare. So I guess they're saying, hey, we're not dropping a bomb when you have time to amend these charges. The trial, that this amendment does not substantially change the state's theory on the case. Whereas now comes prosecuting attorney. See, or whereas. I hate whereas. Why can't lawyers just talk legally? So let's go back to that first one, which, if I'm not mistaken here, and I'm going to start looking at some of your comments, is the thing that I guess that we want to read here. Okay. Homicide. So my question to you guys here, and let me go into the chat here from my phone since I can't see the thing up here. It dropped 30 minutes before the Supreme Court hearing this morning. Wow, that's from Just Deb. You can't tell me that all these court filings that they don't put them in at certain times. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Wait, there are new charges being. Yes, Jessica, Robin, Riley, Jinx, and Deb were on this. I haven't been in Discord today, so I don't know if anything was going on there. Honeybee spreading the love. Yeah, please like it. Okay. Yeah, my plans went out the window, Kels, but that's okay. I'm a fireman. We're used to adapting. This makes me look remotely technologically savvy that I'm able to pull something up so quick. This wasn't a setup by Jinx, and I had this an hour ago. I actually did this on the fly. So, yeah, there's a lot of good questions, Melissa. How can they change it? I don't know. I can't answer that, guys. I really can't. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a lawyer. I've seen people today pretending to be lawyers, and I'm not that. So basically, from what I can tell, when I'm going off memory, the initial thing was the kidnapping thing, where if they proved you were able to kidnap somebody and they died in the process of that kidnapping or the process of that crime, or if you kidnapped them and took them somewhere and they were killed, that you were also guilty of murder. Well, now they're saying that Richard Allen, in my opinion, killed Libby and Abby. right? Am I way off on anybody? I don't know if I have any attorneys in here or not. I probably don't. Uh, yes, Jinx, you do send me the important stuff and occasionally funny stuff, which I appreciate also. Uh, okay, I was on top messages. I apologize if I missed anybody's messages. So, is that what you guys think this is? Is that what? Melissa, good question. How can you change it? I mentioned that before. I don't know. Someone attorney wise can talk. I don't know if Ruckus is still in here. Ruckus talked about they could still put the death penalty on the table before. I'll get in Discord after this, Jinx. So I was watching Defense Diaries live, and they have over 1,700 people in there live. Wow. Well, maybe if I was as handsome as Bob Mata, I'd have 1,700 people there. I don't look. The Defense Diaries is a defense show, so if they come out and start saying people are guilty, their work's going to dry up. Now, that being said, I watch. I love Bob Mata. I think he's a star. I think he's going to have a show on Court TV or one of them shows. And maybe it's me as a coach, but when somebody, regardless of what they are, as long as they're not a bad person, and he certainly isn't a bad person, they have this energy, this electricity about them. When they come on screen or they come in a room, I'm attracted to that. Not as like I like Bob Mott, I want to take him out for a steak and flowers or anything like that, but just like I want to hear what this guy has to say. This guy has good energy. And Bob Mott is going to find his way, in my opinion, to a big show. Hopefully he'll remember old Coach Kev, who disagreed with him on the Delphi case. And but I enjoy him a lot. Yeah, Deb, I think that Frank told us that too, that he was in there. So anyways, I'll read this again to you. I'm sure if you go to YouTube, I'll share it as soon as I'm done on my community page so everyone can read it. I also assume it's updated on the My Case. Deb, can you well, Honeybee says, Coach, you're a fireman, so you are hot. Well, yeah, in a scientific way. Hey, my girlfriend's beautiful and she likes me, so that's all I need to worry about. I'm good with that. Steak and flowers. Yeah, rescue all dogs. Steak and flowers. Well, maybe the flowers at the beginning, and then we'll have the steak, after we have some gluten-free beers or some wine, which is gluten-free also. Mary Margaret. And again, I'm off screen, so I'm not putting the comments up because I don't know how to do that. Mary Margaret, great point. Why not charge him like this way from the beginning? That is a great question. Did new evidence come about, or was this like a legal posturing thing where, we're going to keep the hammer over here and drop it? And what I learned from this case, and I'm very grateful for it, that all this craziness happened, leaked pictures, all this shit happened, and it's sad. And if Richard Allen is innocent, he shouldn't be sitting in jail longer and all that type of things. But I learned a lot from this case, that the attorneys, there's rules that they have to follow with evidence and this and that and saying things in motions, but they're really, really big margins on those rules. This isn't like a thing that's really close. So they have a lot of leeway with giving the discovery. You don't have to give it to them all at once. In the state of Indiana, you only have to give it to them 10 days before trial. Could you imagine if in the Delphi case, they only gave the defense 10 days to go through this voluminous discovery? The judge said, no, it has to be in by November 1st. So we would assume that by November 1st, all the discovery was handed over, although that was at the time that the attorneys changed. But I hope I'm going to take this down and get back to talking. I hope everyone's okay with that. If anybody wants to take a picture, take a quick screenshot of it, you can do that. I'll share it. I'm sure it's on My Case. I'm sure other YouTubers are sharing it or talking about it by now. Let me go down a little bit for you here. So in case you're taking any pictures, I do that sometimes on people. But remember this here at the bottom. This is just this looks like to me this was probably added after the fact. And I'm not an attorney. Added acts. Look at the bottom. 1976. What was the last one? 2018. Oh, section 18. Jesus. Why can't attorneys just speak English? Give me the Dewey Decimal System. I can understand that. This at the bottom, I can't understand. But if anyone can understand it, it'll tell you when these things were added. And I believe, and again, I'm not 100%, I believe this stuff was added after the fact because probably they saw cases out there that needed that. And the politicians in that area said, let's add this meth thing to it. But it includes all this stuff. Okay. But now he's being charged what it appears to be is murder. So let me take that off the screen. We have some great comments here, and I was reading them, but I want people to see them because they are good. And let me go back up here a little bit. Okay, that's what I think too, Deb. I don't want to actually say that, but it appears to be that way to me. Again, go to your legal people for this. You want to ask me about firefighting questions or criminal psychology or who to bet on this weekend in the football games, I'm your guy. Yeah, looking at the documents, it's not my thing, although I'm getting better at it. Mary Margaret, you have 5 different lives to catch up. Well, get your work done because YouTube is popping today. There's a lot going on, regardless of what you think about the case. Well, thank you, Honeybee. I appreciate that. I've been told when I did a couple games on, I broadcasted a couple basketball games. I was told I had a face for radio. Yeah, the lingo broke down. I'm sure people will be doing that tonight, but it appears that they're charging him with murder now. Now, did they get new information? We know that during a case, investigations continue. I don't know if that's what happened or if this was a plan all along. Well, hey, you want to keep going with this crap, then we're going to drop this here, and I don't know. I don't know. Haunted Stella, I think they're making this case harder than it is. It sounds like that the burden is higher to prove that he only not kidnapped them, but he also abducted them. So why would they do that? You would hope it's because they have an overwhelming amount of evidence. You would hope, right? This is not some kind of public, optics or politic backlash. Hey, the public's all over us. We need to do this. So I don't know. But that is certainly is interesting. And again, the file drops the same day. Westermen's in court at 9 a.m. for his appearance or whatever it was. I assume Westermen was in court today. I didn't see a lot of people covering that or talking about that. I did read that Greeno filed a cameras in the courtroom and they rejected it. I think I was on the 17th. And I did see that. It was listed, doing business as true crime investigates. So that was him. That was him. Oh, look at Ruckus. Our guy Ruckus. These amending charges indicate a cooperation in a plea deal. I never thought of that. Makes sense. Ruckus has been around the law a lot more than me and the legal maneuverings and things like that. That's very interesting. Very interesting. We were talking a little bit about that today, and the rumor had swirled around, and it's just a rumor as far as we know. Maybe it'll be confirmed, maybe it'll be debunked. That one of the holdups with the plea deal was the allocation by Richard Allen. Allocation is when you stand up in court and you this is what I did. This is exactly what happened. So everybody knows. There's been some things that were, BTK. Seemed to relish it. Gary Ridgway a little bit seemed to relish it. It depends. It's just, yeah, that's interesting. Kel's same way. Everyone's like, wow. I'm sure he will. I don't know if Ruckus is going to be on with Frank tonight or not. Or Ruckus, I don't know what Ruckus is doing. If you want to come on here, I'll send you a link. Because you have, obviously this is really good stuff for you. Great question, Haunted Stella. I believe so. I theorize that. And I need to tell you that I have absolutely no proof to back it up. I just think the way that timing worked, the way that things worked, it was clearly not a training situation. Like they said, you know what I mean? And that was like the worst cop lie ever. Sometimes like we don't want to lie to you, but we can't tell you what we're doing. Oh, we're doing a training thing. They could have come up with something better. They should have. Well, in World War II, there was an experimental plane that went down here, and maybe we can find it. Maybe we can't. I don't know. But an excellent question, Stella. I think so, and I don't think it was any kind of weapon. And I'll tell you this. I'll hint to you what I think it was. They can find – there's a company out there. There's probably several now. They have found phones that have been underwater for 5 years and have been able to get the information off of phones, laptops, things like that, tablets. So that is absolutely possible. Ruckus again. More arrests are coming, and he'll waive his right to an appeal in exchange for not having to publicly admit. We were just talking about allocution. That's very interesting. Very interesting there. Yes. New attorneys, I don't know. Well, initially it looked like they were going to follow the Odinist thing, which I don't blame the attorneys for that because it's garnered a lot of support in the social media realms. And to me, that's what the old attorneys were going after. I don't think they had anything to defend him with, my personal opinion. So they were trying to win the opinions, the hearts and minds of the public. And look at the people that they cited in their Frank's memo, right? Not necessarily reputable folks. Okay. So to me, it appeared they were grasping at straws with the Odinist thing. Major Click, who I couldn't think of the name this morning, maybe one of the only drawbacks to medical marijuana use is forgetting stuff. Major Click, who came out, that was the guy in the Frank's memo. He was the star of the Frank's memo. Major Click came out and said immediately after the Frank's memo was released, he does not believe it was Odinism. Clear. No one in law enforcement believes it's Odinism. But what Major Click said, he did believe that those guys that were listed, the Hillbilly Three, as I call them, no offense to them. Well, I guess they would take offense if I heard me say it. They still could have been involved. He thought that there was something fishy about them. But so the people that are still, holding tight to the Odinist thing, they did find their professor. That wasn't a made up thing. You can look his name up. You can see what he had to say. And with someone trying to make something look like something, I ask you to continue around here for my theory because the next part will be coming out in the next couple of days. Actually, should be by the weekend. Videos are hard to make and they take a lot of time. So I really have an appreciation for people that make videos. But let's see what you guys have to say as I keep talking. We have some really good comments today. I think so. If I agree, Stella, if that's what you're saying, I think that they did personally. Good question. Cal, do you think we'll ever find out what happened and why? Melissa hopes we find out. Well, it was. I tell you what, it caught fire. It was, to me, it was a good political move. It was a good legal move. And I mentioned this morning, and we were talking about just the general thing. So if the attorneys for Richard Allen were really afraid of Odinist guards, they would have totally sealed the Franks memo. Okay? The Franks memo, if it's true, let's say for a second that it's all true, it was an Odinist sacrifice, it was a bloat, it was whatever, there's runes there. They let out that their client is being framed by Odinists who he's in control. They're in control of him, these Odinist guards. If Richard Allen were to be killed or sacrificed in jail by Odinists, wouldn't it be the responsibility of his original lawyers? Wouldn't they have sealed that memo? Well, they didn't seal the memo because it wasn't about Odinists knocking out Richard Allen or his family. It was about getting the word out there. And they got the word out there. And one of the things that I wrote down in the Supreme Court, hold on, Jenks, let me put it in. One of the things in the Supreme Court, I'm going to send you my Gmail because if you send me something, I can put it up real quick. Anyone can email me anytime, by the way. One of the things that I thought about, today during the Supreme Court argument, watching the justices react, and again, no lawyer, just kind of body language in people and seeing their reactions and their inclinations and their voice tones and things like that, and always watching their chin, the chin boss. We watch Behavior Panel, we know that. It was like they probably thought that Judge Gall may have been within her rights, but she didn't follow the right process. That's the gist that I got after watching all that. Well, if she thought this, why didn't she do this? Or why didn't she do that? Why didn't she do that? And other people argue, well, she offered them an opportunity to have a hearing. Rozzi stood up a little bit and started giving some back. And Baldwin said, how do I get to my car out the back door? It's like literally, I'm paraphrasing, but that's literally what he said. So I could see the arguments going back and forth both ways. I'm in no way, shape, or form able to tell you she should have did this or she should have did that. She's a judge. I'll tell you this. They elected her the boss judge. That's what I call everyone that's in charge. Boss this, boss that. I call my deputy work boss. So she's the administrative judge or the boss judge. to me, that's a statement from all the other judges saying, yeah, you know what? They're coming after you, blah, blah, blah. And so maybe they're united there. And I don't think it's just we're united, like firemen are cool to other firemen, cops, people in motorcycles wave to each other, Jeeps. I think that they saw some kind of attack or something going on. That's a total theory by me. So it's just what I think. But yeah, I don't know too much about Odinism. I know that the original defense and the new defense kept calling these people rocks. They keep putting Odinite in there. Like, if you're going to write a memo or a legal document that you consider a masterpiece, maybe, just maybe, run it through a spell check. Your 3 police officers that you're using and you're saying these 3 cops thought it was an Odinist sacrifice, which they later said, no, we didn't. You don't even have the right places that they work. Let me talk one more thing about the Franks memo, and I mentioned this morning. The BAU is not quoted anywhere in there. The FBI is not quoted anywhere in there. Major Click says he believed that the BAU thought that there might have been some kind of Odinist angle to this. The BAU never said that publicly. Now, we might go to court and they might say, hell yeah, this and that. But based on the information we have, that was never the case. I need to be clear with that with you guys. The other thing I talked about, too, was the non-secular comment by Robert Ives. From best that I could tell, Robert Ives never said that. That was added after the fact. That's why it was stripped, and that's why nobody can find it in the actual interview itself. So that was a big thing. It wasn't a cover-up. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. It was that. But I find those things very interesting. And you can see how something that happened so long just gets accepted as a fact. You know what I mean? There were some things 2 years ago that I accepted as a fact that I look back now like, dude, you're a goof for believing that. But it's not, it's how this whole case worked, I think. And I've only been here for a couple. Oh, looks like I got an email here. Show you some stuff. Let me get to some questions here. Okay, so again, Ruckus is saying that he believes, based on the very limited knowledge that we have, that very limited knowledge about the law that I can bestow upon all of you, all of my friends, he thinks there's some movement going on, and maybe this is that, and it's posturing back and forth. Very interesting. What if the person's already in jail? Or what if the person is dead? Now, I know I'm not a big Ron Logan camp guy. I don't believe Ron Logan was bridge guy. I don't believe any of that. But I continuously go back to Steffa. If you watch Support with Steffa, great channel, beautiful girl, full of life. I really enjoy interactions with her and seeing her on other things. Her and her daughter interviewed Ron Logan years ago. They were out there looking around. And one of the things Ron Logan said, and he was saying how they botched the investigation of the police. Ron Logan didn't like the cops. And the cops probably didn't like Ron Logan either. They had some bad interactions over the years, right? Ron Logan liked to drink a lot, maybe do things he shouldn't do when he drank a lot, okay? No excuse, you shouldn't do that, but, Ron Logan should have smoked weed. He wouldn't have got himself in any trouble. But one of the things Ron Logan says in that interview, and I can't get past it. He said the law enforcement focused on people who had hardly anything to do with it. Hardly had anything to do with it. If you're Ron Logan and they had you in jail and they took your teeth and gave you apples and hard shit to chew and everything else, you would, if someone said that to you, especially if you didn't know them, and Ron Logan's probably like, oh, there's 2 cute girls and I'm kind of creepy with younger girls, like dating with, 30s, 20s, things like that. And he said he would have said they came after me and I had nothing to do with it. Innocent people scream from the rooftops. If you accuse me of killing 2 little girls and I didn't do it, and I'm in an interview room with a cop, it might get violent, and that cop and them other cops might whoop my ass. But I'm like, you son of a bitches are out of your mind. Richard Allen never said that in that letter. Never once said that in that letter. I'm innocent. He threw himself on a mercy of the court. Never once said he was innocent. 100 and what is it, 59-page Frank's memo, whatever it was. They offer no alibi. None. Because his regular phone was at home. And the burner was with him. This is what I think. That last part is what I think. That's a theory. The other parts you can prove. I mean, they're there. Okay. Yeah, arresting ASAP. I'm with you there. It's all so bizarre. But again, let me just throw that out there. What if someone that's part of this case is already in jail, or someone they're looking at, and it might be Keegan Klein. I think that he's involved somehow with the catfishing and the CSAM. Or people have mentioned other people. There was a Garrett Kurtz plea deal, right? That just happened. Did anyone mention Kurtz in the chat? I'm not saying that he did it or not, but it's weird. It certainly is weird, and you can see how people can go down rabbit holes. It's out there. It is out there. We'll hear the truth. Just because Richard Allen doesn't have to admit it publicly doesn't mean we won't. Yeah, I agree. I would hope so, but I think it'll come out. I would too, but I would be careful like that so it isn't an OJ situation. Like if you have him say down the hill, you got to hope that he's obviously sounds like the guy, which he wouldn't try to change his voice and maybe do a Ron Logan down the hill. You know what I mean? I don't know if Ron Logan really talked like that or not, or he was trying to be dramatic. Rush. There was a judge I thought looked like Adam Sandler. I think I wrote his name. No, I don't think, was it Massa? I don't know if it was Massa or not. Massa was also the special agent of FBI that was at the press conference. The guy with the beard and the different color suit. No, that was by design. Everyone had monotone suits on. He had this grayish suit, and he had this facial beard and slick back hair. I think that's by design. Yeah, Evansdale, or this morning, Ruckus was doing some talking about him and Steve's work on that. They're doing good work on it, and it sounds like they're making progress. It really does. Yes, there you go. Melissa, again, listing everybody. Continue to work on Flora. Flora information kind of is a gridlock right now because of everything in the background that happened. It has nothing to do with the case itself, but we're still grinding on it. Frank is going to be getting, or is working on getting, I'll let him make his announcement, the Jordan Sofer case, getting a lot of information and getting at the people. Jinx, did you say this before? I didn't see this. Guess you took Garrett. Yeah, it sounds funny, doesn't it? It's not funny, but can that be a coincidence, or is that crazy? He's not in prison, but he isn't at the Carroll County. Is that Garrett Kurtz? You talking about Garrett Kurtz, Bonnie? Because that'd be interesting too. He's not in prison, but isn't. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll let Ruckus answer that if he sees it. Ruckus, if you're here, do you think? Oh, there you did answer it. I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, down the hill. That's how he says it. I mean, is that how he really talked, or was he trying to be like, I'm going to show you that wasn't me? I don't believe Ron Logan crossed the bridge anymore. Do you think the arrests are new names, or we heard names? That's a good question. So Ruckus is answering Mary's question up here. He believes yes, and he believes TK, and you know who that is, right? Ooh, Melissa. A girl got kidnapped in my town back in October. Charlotte, Moreau State Park. Wow. It's terrible that you can't go anywhere like you used to. It is. It's sad. Updates for Kurtz. So I don't know. Rescue All Dogs, I think, sent me some pictures from the Capitol. You want me to show them? I'm assuming it's okay to show them. The pigs are going to start squealing. Maybe they already have haunted Stella. Maybe they already have. There's always a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And that's just how it is. All right, one more time, Chopper. Ron Logan. Down the hill. Rick Snay, and I know he lost his voice, but he did a great Ron Logan. And no offense, but he also did a great Noe. Like, I wanted him to have a conversation with himself with those two voices back and forth. I think that would have been outstanding. Well, thank you, Kels. I don't know. I appreciate that. Snays is really good. Hopefully, he gets his voice back. Uh, because whether you agree with him or not all the time, and I don't agree with him all the time, but every time I watch his show, I am entertained. I am entertained. It's good. Mary should be working. Well, hey, I don't know what your job is, but if the boss comes in, let him know. Like, dude, today was the Supreme Court for Delphi. What do you want me to do, boss? Like, hey, what can you do? I mentioned to you that the sticks on the girls. Yes, yeah, I remember seeing your comment. I actually was a guy at work. Or I was a guy at work. I am a guy at work. I work with guys too. But we were talking about that, and I said, you know what? I never thought of that before as a way to get rid of bodies. Now, here's the thing: there's a double-edged sword with that. So if you light that fire in the daytime, people are going to see smoke. If you light that fire at nighttime, theoretically, they're going to see the flames, unless there's something that you could somehow put around that. But I never thought of that. I was glad you said that. I don't know. I'll look more into it, but it was definitely an interesting thing, and it made me think. And it led to about a 20-minute conversation with me and my buddy, my captain at work, about it. And he knows a little bit about the case, but he thought if you were able to hide the smoke in the daytime or hide the flames at nighttime, that maybe that would have been a way, you know what I mean? Because you could be out at night. Let me tell you this. This is not even in the woods. This is in a concrete jungle like I live in an urban area. You could be out at night, and depending on the weather conditions, especially like a February day where you're going to have warm temperatures, you're going to have the cold going up and stuff kind of evaporating. It holds the smoke down. You could have a fire, a house burning, and you're a block away and you can't see it till you literally get up on it. And I'm sure in Indiana, around the Monon High Bridge and the trail, it's nothing to smell. It probably smells awesome. Good, clean firewood burning and things like that. Not house fire, dirty, sooty. Yeah. But it's probably no big thing out there. So I thought that was very interesting, and I was glad you brought that up because you made me think. You made me think. I like when people make me think. Yeah, it almost was. It almost was like, dude, are you going to dress nearly in what the guy had on and try to sound like him? Like, I don't know what Logan's thing was there. It was definitely weird. Definitely weird. David Riley. David Riley, as the name sounds familiar. Why? Was that one of the people in the motion that they mentioned? I know that name sounds familiar. Yeah, I do. I'm entertained by Rick's show. I'm always entertained by him. We might have different theories on different cases, and that's all good and fine. There's no problem there. And he stepped up when it came to Flora. He really did. The Flora week, he's covered it a few times and things like that. And he shared with us who the real Chris Todd is, and I'm thankful for what he did that. Ruckus knows how to do it, man. He's giving you a little taste. And maybe, I don't know if he might be on with Frank tonight. I don't know. Again, Frank's on tonight at 8. I'm not sure if Ruckus will be there or not. Kristen behind the crime door might be there too. She was with us today. So yeah, check out LA's channel. We were talking about him today. He's been shot twice. They tried to light his car on fire. He's a Philly cop. And he has a very unique perspective on things. I actually, a couple guys cops that we do, we come into contact with, I told them about it, and I think they're fans of his channel. We do need Snay. We do. Oh, David Riley's the older guy with the dog. Okay. He's interviewed, actually. Yeah, you can watch his interview. He's out there with the dog. You had him. You had the guy blowing the horn. And listen, when there's a guy out there blowing a big horn and people are talking about possible Odinist connections, look, I get it. You can't make that shit up, right? But that Heath guy, I don't know. When I initially came to this case, I looked at him because I thought his actions were extremely concerning. I looked at Mayor Evans, like a lot of people did, because of the way he was at the press conference. And then he alibied him very easily. It didn't take long. He's at a meeting, and unless all these people at the meeting are part of this conspiracy, which would push it up in the 60s, then he wasn't there. You know, he looked horrible at the press conference. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if he was out partying the night before or whatever the case was, but oh, Stella, cool. Brother's a detective. My brother is he was a former McKeesport police officer, and he was a homicide narcotics detective. He's now promoted. He's attorney general agent for the state of Pennsylvania. It's always good to ask them stuff and just bounce off like general. Like, what do you think this means if that's happening? Because he could be like Ruckus and say, hey, I've seen this before. This is some posturing for maybe a plea, you know? Good reason why law enforcement interviewed his wife and daughter on the same day that they interviewed Kathy Allen, but they did not interview him. Do you think, Ruckus, they went home and then they were actually, interrogating Richard, like the family, like Kathy, and we don't mention their daughter's name or the son-in-law, but in my opinion, we're all going to know both of those names by the end of this hearing, by the end of this trial, if it goes to trial. Very suspicious, Chopper, very suspicious. And again, if I could sprinkle a little bit of my, anticipation on it, you can watch the rest of my, I'll be up on part 5 next on my Delphi theory. There's only 2 parts left I'm going to do. And I don't think Ron Logan did anything. I think he came across the crime scene. I don't think he stayed in and played with tropical fish. I really don't. Like he said he did, which sounds horrible. They're missing 2 little girls and you're inside your house playing with fucking fish. I agree. I don't know, man. The guy almost interjected himself as like, I didn't do it, but I'm going to act really funny so you guys all think that I did it. If you go back to the Green River Killer, and I was watching a thing yesterday on Gary Ridgway, there was a guy that was a cab driver that they looked at really hard and they thought it was him. And then during a TV interview, he's like, I wish I'd have killed the girls. I mean, and it's like one of those things. And he didn't do it. Holy red herring, right? And this guy was just kind of like a kook guy who wanted to be in that. I don't think Ron Logan was that. But Ron Logan's definitely made some questionable comments and decisions. That I give you. Well, that's okay, Stella. You should bug your brother, and he should bug you back. Their brothers and sisters do. Nothing wrong with that. Won't go to trial. Convinced after today, huh, Ruck? Okay. All right. Thank you, Kales. Chopper, I'm going to try to put my finger on. I don't know if I'm right, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't think, hands-on situation, but that's too weird too, isn't it? Is looking at fish. Even if you were looking at fish and you knew that this might be a catfish case, because early on this was called the Snapchat murders. Let's not forget that. I wasn't around then, but after researching back, early on it was called the Snapchat murders. I'd have been like, I was looking for deer, because deer don't sound like fish. I don't know. Dirty old man Logan, yeah. I don't know if he was I don't know. I don't know if he did anything. We know the reports and the stories, and he had younger girlfriends. Yeah, right. I think I just caught a mouse in my kitchen. Did you hear that? Plenty of fish. Oh, you guys are getting out of there now. Jinx, there you go. Jinx puts up some fish, and like Chopper goes right to plenty of fish. I'm sure there's more comments coming. Plenty of fish. That's like a dating site, I believe. Okay, guys, I have a really great girlfriend, so I don't. A man's got to have a code. I have a code from an ancient time. My code goes back longer than the last Odin's sacrifice. Matter of fact, there's a video on Libby's phone. Her and Abby screwing around at Walmart the day before. Wow, look at Ruckus. I haven't heard that one before. I talk to him all the time, man. He's giving you guys stuff. That's all right. Sprinkling. Like the E40 song. Sprinkle me, man. Ruckus is laying it out there. Ruckus is a showman. He's a showman. And that's a good thing. BW lawyered up. Is he talking about Weber? We have to be talking about him, right, Jill? Jill's been paying attention. Yeah, Ruckus is still in the show today, and that's perfectly fine. He's grassing. Margaret, Mary Margaret, I agree with you totally. I guess at what it is, but I don't know for sure. And I go back to that law enforcement quote, and I've shared it on my community page, where they were talking about the video that was shot as they were walking up to the bridge, right? Things the girls talk about. So that could be a 10-minute video. It could be a 4-minute. We don't know. And I do think that they encountered bridge guy Richard Allen before they got to the bridge. There was some kind of interaction. I don't think he tried to like chase him or grab him. I think he tried to strike up a conversation. And if you go back to my theory, in his mind, at the situation that his mind was at the time, he thought, and this is my theory on its face value, he thought he was going to meet Abby and convince her that even though he's not this young guy that he catfished, and yes, I mean to say Abby, that, hey, this is how these people think. Oh, maybe, we could go back to my house or whatever. I don't know. I just don't know. But there's something there. I think that there's some substance to that. That's just my personal opinion. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. We're talking about, I don't know if we should say the name. I guess we should. You said BW. Well, you put it in, I won't say it because you put it in the his initials. But I'm pretty sure we know who it is. That's why I didn't know that, Jill. You probably have a lot of insight. Be really interesting to talk to you. One of the 3 juveniles that were interviewed was interviewed by a second time. Ooh. I knew when the marshals came in that the marshals are pretty badass people. I saw one interview. If you're asking me about the people in jail, yeah. That's on now. The Keegan Klein Grisham Air Force Base interview is on the index files that were sent to what was his name? Woodhouse, not House. As long as we think they're real. Well, hold on. Everyone, Chopper says tentacles. And when we say tentacles on this channel, we have to drink today. It's orange Gatorade. Whatever you're drinking, wherever you are, bottoms up. Thank you, Chopper. Anytime we say tentacles, we drink. Okay, Jill, it's Brad Weber. I didn't want to say that. You put the initials before, but so he's got an attorney. Is this new, Jill? Just recently got an attorney, or has he had one? That's very interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of it, Stella, in my opinion, is going to be just like, who do you like, and what, that stuff. There'll be things maybe that are pertinent to the case about it. If we do get to court, we might never know what's on that. We might never know how long it is. I'd like to know because I'm curious, and we've invested time in this. We've invested ourselves in this, but nobody's invested like the family. So at the very least, I would like if Richard Allen is guilty, and if he says he did it, and these are the people he did it, or however it happened, that the police could at least go to them and say, we know exactly what happened. Do you want to know? And as a parent, I think I would. I would never want to be in that situation, but maybe some parents don't want to know. I don't want to know what happened. So I think it's all it just depends on how you view it. Oh, you're one of them were interviewed there, Kells. Oh, I missed that. Thank you for putting that in here. If it's, well, the hearing's going to be, this is scheduled for this October, right? Initially. So I would think it would have to be this year if there's going to be a plea. Not recently, but I've heard them come up before, Jessica, and I really don't understand it that much. But that is Yubo, and then there's the yellow, if you're talking about the same thing, with inside of Snapchat, I believe, in the archive. And the archive always has really, really cool stuff on everything. Frosty does too. He might be sleeping or going to work right now, but Frosty and in the archive have really, really cool stuff. If you ever want to get a layout of the town of Flora or Delphi or a bunch of other old cool stuff, really, really good channels for that. Two good people. Ruckus dropping some more knowledge. The juvenile female was interviewed by the U.S. Marshals the same day. Okay. Kind of making a little bit of sense to us. On same app. See, I'm Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and fantasy football. I don't go to too many other apps than that. Yes, Frosty. Frosty is a great channel. He's uploading new stuff. He's buying all kind of new equipment. He's going to have some really cool stuff up. He's young and technologically shrewd. Not like yours truly. That's a good one, Chopper. Yeah, as you're putting all this together, I can't say for sure, but that's out. Yeah. Well, guys, we've been here an hour. We're having good talk, but I have so much stuff that I want to dig into now that you guys gave me. And I thank you all for that so much. Because I have I don't know what time I'm going to bed tonight. I was going to put some baseball or football cards on eBay, but I don't know about that now. Yes, I think so too. That's the Keegan Klein thing. That's what I think he did. And whether he knew Richard Allen or not personally, or just knew him online, like some of us know each other online. Like if the cops came to my house and says, Haunted Stella robbed the bank, you tell me who she is. Haunted Stella's my friend on YouTube. Where's she live? Why, I don't know. Yes, you do. No, I don't. I just wonder if it was that type of situation. Keegan Klein a lot better with computers and stuff like that than I am. So I don't know. I just wonder. But I'm going to get out of here. And I'm sorry, take the dead mouse out. Yeah, I have good traps. He's dead. It wasn't the dog because he came in later. And I'd have heard Kyrie yelping. But if it was, I had a couple of field mice, I think came in when I was taking my garbage out. And they went at a little thing of not gluten-free, but regular noodles that my son had. And they were on the bottom. So we'll go in there and see. But the traps are, they're not. I'm not going to have to finish the mouse off. Poor mouse, but hey. But I thank you all so much. You guys gave me a ton of stuff to talk about. Again, hold on. We got Ruckus with some more. A subpoena and search warrant are issued for a tin shop. Yes, we talked about, me and you talked about that. So Ruckus is giving you some stuff to run down. So go back and look at the stuff that he's trying to do. Because sometimes I ask Ruckus, well, just tell me what you're saying. And he says, no, go find it yourself. But I appreciate him for that. It reminds me of an old football coach. Yeah, I'll tell you if you're right. But go figure it out yourself. But that's teaching you how to research. So I appreciate that. Ruckus, I don't know if you will be on with Frank tonight. Frank's on at 8. But I would have to think from as soon as you get off of here, go check out YouTube. Some people had some stuff today. There's a lot of stuff. And the last thing I'd like to say, this was the first thing I was going to say, because this was supposed to be about the Supreme Court. But it isn't. We got sidetracked thanks to Jinx and, everyone, Dab bringing the information in. So I think today, if you watch people and you watch their react, you're like watching a football game. If they think Richard Allen's guilty, when a state makes a good point, they think it's a good point, they're going to stop the video and touchdown, and they're going to skip past when the defense makes a good point. Juxtaposition: if you are Richard Allen as innocent person, anytime the defense makes a point, they're going to stop the video, touchdown, and the other people are going to be, I don't know. So just keep that in mind. Watch it for yourself. You could go to the Indiana site, the Supreme Court site. I just had it on a little bit ago. Watch it for yourself. See what you think. They use a lot of big terms, but for me, when I don't understand words that people are using, I look at their body language and you look at succinct emotions. Judges, how are they looking at the person? Is it like this? Is it like this? Ever looking over their glasses? Ever do anything like that? And it kind of leads you to believe what which to think what they believe or what they're thinking. Not always true, but it's just like an interesting thing. Thank you, Honeybee. On the way out, give me a like. I appreciate all your time. Great chat today. I'm glad my stream got derailed by the information because it was really cool. And I'm going to be jumping in this stuff with both feet here. There's all kind of shit to check out. So I appreciate everybody coming in, everybody spending time today. And I'll probably see some of you around the chats and YouTube. And if you do, give me a shout out. Say, what's up, Coach Kev? Make sure I see you so I can tell you hello back. And before we get out of here, Chopper brought it up before, but we always finish. And today is, I'm not going to say today's the day, but today is a day of possible tentacles. So we're really going to drink to it. Really going to drink to it today. Tentacles, tentacles, tentacles. We got to go connect some of these things. So everyone get to work, okay? Thank you all. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you all soon. Look for the next part of my Delphi theory. Should be coming out by Saturday. Take care. I love you all. Coach Kev, out.